What's up, everybody? It's Cool Game 24 here, and today I'm gonna bring to you my Sons of Anarchy Season 5 Episode 5 review entitled Orchestrated. Before I get to this review, I would like to tell everybody that watch my videos, be patient. This formula, be patient that I'm gonna drop the video either on Friday or Saturday, not on Wednesday or even Thursday, because there's certain situations that come up in my personal life that I can't really make a review on the exact time as I usually do. So this episode has a couple highlighted characters, so this is going to be a short one. Gemma, Clay, Tara, and Jax. That's all. There's nearly no other ones. They're not really highlighted. It's just part of these characters. Just part of these characters. Let's go. Tara. Yeah, Tara. Tara is lost in the club right now. In this episode, she has good news that she has a chance, a 50% chance to go back as a surgeon, go back to helping people. And this conflicts with her life as as the wife of Jax and as the queen of the club, because the reason why she was so deep inside the club is because she didn't have another avenue to go out of. She didn't have another path, but now it seems like the path is opening up, and it's conflicting with her club life. Not only that, the pressure is getting to her because she's allowing certain cracks in her armor that I thought was impenetrable is starting to show when she let Gemma manipulate her into beating up Carla. In this episode, she showed many signs of weakness, to the point where she allowed, in a long time, like in a couple weeks or a month, I don't know the time frame, she let Gemma watch the kids and go to sleep with the kids while she smoked weed. To me, it seems like either she wants to stay in the club and be by her husband, or she wants to go back to being surgeon, or she want to do both. As I said before, man, she's lost. She's doing a way backtrack from who she was, or what she showed in episode 1 and episode 2. Jax gave her power to be the queen by being his wife, and she is not handling power very well. On the opposite, we have Gemma, who is not even in the top seed anymore. She's not Miss Queen anymore, but she makes power moves because she's been doing this for a lot longer than Tara, and she able to manipulate Tara in the last episode. In this episode, she's conflicted as well. Her and Nero relationship, she don't know where it's at. In the beginning of, I think, this episode, it showed her in a bed with somebody. It was a female. She called Nero like 4 times. Excuse me. She called Nero like 4 times, and she wanted to know what's the status between her and Nero. And when she went to Nero, she asked Nero, what's going on? You still mad at me? And he said, of course I'm mad at you. And she don't know why. And it's because the situation between her and Carla, instead of beating up Carla herself, she got Tara to do it. And Nero took that in some type of way of distrust, because Nero could have handled his own as a man, and she wanted to know why Nero didn't call her. And little did she know that Jax told Nero to stay away from his mom. But Nero tells her about the whole situation and saying, you know, he moving to north and they gotta get to a new brothel, they gotta get to a new thing, and he can't deal with her no more. And she says, why? And she tried to manipulate Nero into having sex because she tried to rough him up, and that turned him on, and they was about to kiss, but he can't do it. The love of his son and his gold is more important than having rough sex with Gemma and having a relation with Gemma, as she showed in this episode. And Nero replies to her like, ask your son. So she went to Jackson to ask him about the whole situation, and he says he don't want to. Jax don't want to mix. Excuse me. He don't want to mix business and personal. And she's calling him on his bullshit. She says basically like, you don't want me to have a relationship. This is some kind of vendetta against me. And Jax replies to her like, I know you had something to. I know you was involved some way, or some form in JT's death. I just don't know. I can't put it together. And she says, you know, she replies, I love you. You're the only person I have left to that loves me. And it shows right there that she is very weakened. You know, she doesn't have Clay, she doesn't have the club. All she has is Nero. And she is very conflicted. Now, I don't know. As I said before, she's a smart woman, and years in the club and watching Clay work made her very, very, very smart, wise, and manipulator and master at many different things. But you know, I don't know when it's ever going to be the time when she does get defeated by Tara, because Tara, as I said, she's conflicted. But in this episode, Gemma was conflicted as well. We have Clay. Clay is making big moves. He's in the same status as Gemma, but he is not conflicted. He wants his seat back because he keeps, you know, testing Jax at the table every single step of the way. He keeps, you know, going back and forth with Jax, trying to go against Pope, and he thinks Pope is some run-of-the-mill black guy, and he doesn't really understand that Pope is a powerful person. But you see in this episode, he gets people arrested that's in Pope's, you know, jurisdiction, and he probably manipulates them into doing something crazy, or them not knowing what the hell is going on, and they made themselves look guilty of robbing Gemma's house. And you see him smiling when Gemma says, you know, why did you bring me here? And he smiles and says, you can go back home. So that shows some type of sign that he has something to deal with this robbery. And also you see when it was a break-in, those voices sound familiar under them. They seem like they're the new people, they're the new guys that came in the Sons. And they hurt Rosabelle's wife. Rosabelle's wife shot herself in the gut, where she was supposed to, you know, feed the baby or whatever. I forgot what the term is, but basically she shot herself because the break-in. She got the gun, she called the cops, she sliced one of them. So we're gonna know who she sliced when we sit at the club in the next. We're gonna know who she sliced in the club once they do another scene with whoever sit at the table. If we see whoever has the bandage, we know Clay's behind it in the next episode. And they made a big mistake right there. They caused, if this is Clay's doing, he caused another black person to get angry at the club. Especially he's a sheriff. So you going to have two black people. Tig's doing, his doing, and you got Clay's doing with the break-ins and trying to make Pope, trying to get Pope arrested more. He underestimating Pope's power. Last but not least is Jax. Jax did a narrative today, like he always do. I mean, in this episode, to show how he feel about the club, and he is very, very stressed at being the president of the club. You know, he says in one of the dialogues, I mean, in a dialogue, he says, you know, every time I wake up, it seemed to be, instead of me, you know, getting up. That's not his exact words. Instead of him getting up, you know, having a fresh day, it seemed like he's cleaning up the mess from yesterday, and that's what his day entails. That him cleaning other people's messes up every single day he wakes up. And basically he says, you know, he lost a part of himself with Ope, the good side, some of the good side. And in this episode, he tells the club about the proposition between him and Nero, and everybody seems to not want to. Well, the three new guys seems to not want it, and he tells them, like, you know, Chips and them tells them, like, oh, well, y'all wasn't here, y'all don't know our president. And Tiggs, as instructed on, I forgot what episode was it, he instructed, you know, to agree everything with Jax. So he agrees with Jax, like, we're gonna get in business with Nero, but they don't. The club, some of the people in the club saying, you know, we don't know Nero, and he's like, no, this is a good business to get us out of this Galindo thing, because this Galindo thing cost us way too much. We got killed. Most of our people got killed for this drug stuff, and we got to get out of this as fast as possible. And also this episode, the deal finally happened between the Galindo and the IRA, and let's see, the deal went down, the deal went through, but one person had a problem with it. The reason we found out the reason why Jax, I mean, one of the people, I forgot his name, Keller or something like that, reason why he didn't want to do business with Jax, but wanted to do business with Clay, because he thought that, you know, Jax is an arrogant prick and he didn't like him, but he has a grudge against him because Jax was the one that got his friend killed. I forgot, the priest in the third season. So, and also he didn't know that power changed. You didn't know Jax was the president and Clay wasn't president anymore. So he found out, and Jax, you know, told him straight up, like, you got a problem with me? Let's settle it right here, right now. So they fought, and during that time, you know, Galindo came and watched the fight. You know, and after the finish the deal, he gave him I forgot what it's called, but it was a powerful caliber gun, and he said, you know, the deal is done. And he said, no, we can test the gun out right there. So he shot all the bikes, Jax's bike, Chip's bike, all the people's bikes that came to the meet. And, you know, Chips is flipping out, and Jax is like, you're gonna have to pay us for us, but, you know, good luck for, I mean, kudos for, you know, countering that, for me beating your ass. In this episode, also, he seemed to make a proposition to reopen Charming Heights. He tells Hell that he's gonna back him up and give him investors and everything else, and Hell didn't believe him, and Hell didn't want to play ball at first. So Jax blackmailed one of the people that didn't go through with what's his name, Heights, with Charming Heights. So he blackmailed the guy, and I'm not even gonna tell you about the whole ridiculous thing that happened with the tranny, because if anybody saw it, it was so ridiculous, it was over the top, even for Sons of Anarchy. the whole time I was just flipping out like this is really gay. It was funny, but it was really over the top gay. But so after that whole training situation and the whole thing, the whole scene with Tig wanting to, man, they successfully blackmailed the guy, and you saw a cool scene with his stepson, wanting to be a part of the Sons, and showing that the Sons are real cool to him, and Jack's taking appreciation to the fact that this is his club now, and he can get something out of it being a part of the club instead of all these dark times, seeing little young people look up to him a little bit in a positive way. So he gives the name and gives all of the stuff to Hale, and Hale was like, why are you doing this? Jack says, I want your dream to come true, and it's another attention into him helping Hell, his worst enemy, that try to take down the Sons many times with the Zobel and many other different things. This move with Jax trying to get Charming Heights up and running is basically him trying to get the club to minimize their illegal activity so it can give the club a legitimate reason to be a club. Without the guns and the drugs, none of these guys, half of the members would have never died, or certain people would never lost loved ones in this whole thing. His whole intention is here is basically to put out tons and tons of fire, because if you know what Charming Heights entails, if Charming Heights happens, it's going to be federal law, and you're going to have ATL and FBI and certain things in the traffic and more cops there. So I think Jax wants to not destroy the club, but to minimize a lot of things that's going on in the club, and trying to give the club another avenue, so Charming Heights could block that other avenue, the drugs and all that, the gun running and stuff, so they can go to a legitimate reason and be an actual toned down club instead of without the violence. So let's see, this episode was pretty the speed of this episode was like 40 miles per hour. It was real slow. It was story based. No, it was really not a lot of action in this joint. So yeah, that's it. Things I want to see in the next episode. As I said before, Rosabelle's wife she shot herself by accident because of break-ins. I want to see who in the club perform the break-ins. We're gonna find out next. Rosabelle's wrath. Pope's gonna come back in the next episode. There's gonna be many things that I want to see, but other than that, yeah, I'll see everyone later, man.